24-year-old Arron Keahey was the victim of a very brutal attack after he met a man on MeetMe.com. Apparently, he went to the home of 18-year-old Bryce Johnson, and when he showed up, Bryce Johnson started to attack him. Now, Arron Keahey says that he doesn't really remember much of what happened. He just remembers that the 18-year-old went after him immediately, and as a result of this attack, he suffered from nerve damage in addition to several broken bones in his face, and he had to undergo plastic surgery to recover. And I should have warned you guys that that picture is pretty graphic and difficult to look at. But I should also note that the 18-year-old is facing criminal charges for that. Authorities are treating it as a hate crime. And what I don't understand is, why is this 18-year-old going on a site pretending as if he's gay or bisexual and convincing someone to go to his home just so he can beat them up? I mean, how much of a hateful, pathetic, sad, lonely human being do you have to be that you have to lash out at another person like that?
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's hard in any case in terms of violent crime to get into the mind of the person behind it. It seems like in this case, it's either a desire for random violence. I mean, there are people who go out, a group of people who just attack and kill a homeless person. Like, the objective is just to inflict harm on a person, and they get off on it in some way. And so it's possible that he did it in this case, and he just combined it with a lack of respect for homosexuals, maybe. More likely it is that he probably has interests in this area, doesn't feel comfortable with it, wants to feel comfortable with himself, goes on the site, but actually confronted with acting on his latent desires, he lashes out with violence. That's also a possibility.
I know.
Thankfully, they at least caught him. I mean, most of these stories, we don't have that. It's a random attack and that's it. Thankfully, there will be some justice in this case.
I'm hoping there will be some justice, but there is a little bit of a problem. So as I mentioned, Keahey says that he doesn't really remember much. He remembers that the suspect in this case attacked him immediately, but he doesn't remember what happened after that. And at the same time, Keahey is saying that he can't really recall what happened either. Like, he says that he has no memory. He's not really cooperating with authorities, so it's hard for authorities to get a real story because the victim can't remember much and the suspect can't remember much. And the family that the suspect is staying with said, of course, they're saying like, oh, but he's such a nice, calm guy. We just did not see this coming.
Yeah,
we can't believe that he would do it.
He so rarely beats random homosexuals that he meets on online. Yeah, so obviously it's much harder without having both a better recollection of what happened from the victim, and also the suspect clearly has no incentive to cooperate. But that's not the only thing they can use to get him. I mean, there could be some sort of DNA evidence on either of them. I mean, it can be implanted in the wounds of the person being attacked. Blood can put on the person perpetrating the crime in the area where they met. I mean, there's other circumstantial evidence and also DNA evidence that might be able to link violence between the two.